Well, good evening to you all, and a very warm welcome to Virtual Church, brought to you live from Beauty and Sound here on your Sunday evening. I do hope you are all well. I hope you're all sitting comfortably, and I hope that you've all got yourselves a very refreshing drink, because we've got a lot to get through tonight. I wasn't here last week, so I've got to catch up with quite a lot of stuff. So we're going to go at warp speed tonight, which is probably good for you guys because you're quite like that. The first hymn that we had there doesn't need any introduction, Love Divine or Love's Excelling, of course, to the tune Blind Word. And I could have just started VC with that hymn because it's one of my favourites, as a lot of you know. However, it was requested by Thomas. Now, Thomas, I think, has had a bit of an accident. He said that the recessional hymn that he was about to play today, this hymn was, Until I Tumbled Down the Spiral Steps at church, basically. Luckily, nothing was broken, but apparently he is very sore. So Thomas, I do wish you all the best, and try next time just not to fall over. Just don't. Is that good advice, or was that not helpful? But Thomas requested that, so I was delighted to play that. Okay, so we now had a request which has come in twice by two of my very generous supporters. So I will hand over to Michelle, who will introduce the hymn, but also Robert Solarski also requested this hymn a couple of weeks ago. So we are playing catch up. So Michelle and Robert, thank you very much. I'll allow Michelle to introduce this.
Today's request is in honor of the retirement of our senior pastor, an absolutely wonderful man who faithfully taught, counseled, and served for 28 years. He baptized me, counseled me, and married my husband and I, and has been a wise and consistent presence. Come Thou Fount celebrates the blessings of God, one of which he certainly has been in my life. To everyone in ministry, including you, Richard, you'll never fully see the impact your time and dedication has in the lives of others. People run to you in their most difficult circumstances, and while that is an honor, it's also extremely heavy. Leading others is the furthest thing from easy, but God is pleased with your service. I see you, thank you, and well done.
Well, as the video title of this VC suggests, certainly here in England, we are celebrating. If you do celebrate, I guess you remember, you give a nod towards Harvest Sunday. So it is Harvest Sunday here in England. I don't know whether it's a worldwide thing. I know we celebrate harvest around the world, but are we celebrating harvest anywhere else in the world today? So I'm going to just play. This hasn't been requested, but I would like you, if you're going to make any live requests tonight, and I'd be very grateful if you did, please, I would like you to send through your favourite harvest hymns. We don't actually have time for a top 5 tonight because there's so much to do. But I'd like you to send in your favourite just like Sean has just done. Hi, Sean. How are you doing? You got home safely last night, I presume. So yeah, send through your favourite harvest hymns, and I'll play those. I'm just going to go and brighten this camera over here. I just noticed in the studio that it's a little bit dark. If I just turn the ISO up a gnat's whisker, I don't know why it's gone dark, because last week it was up. Of course, we weren't here last week, but 2 weeks ago it was all right. I don't know why it's just gone dark. One of the world's mysteries. Come ye thankful, people come, raise a song of harvest home. All is safely gathered in ere the winter storms begin. One of the great hymns, should I say, for harvest. The tune is called St. George's Windsor. such a good hymn, that. I love it. It's one of the hymns for harvest, surely. I can think of some other hymns. I've actually made a note of some hymns here, and I wonder whether you can request them. I've actually written down, in case we don't get requested. Sean has actually already chosen one of them, but there's a few others here which need to get requested. They need to get requested. You know that one by Thomas Tertius Noble? That was a good one. Someone ought to request that, I think. Jonathan, who is just simply known as Jonathan, according to my requests form, has requested, tell out to my soul, the greatness of the Lord. Jonathan doesn't actually give a reason. But who am I to say no to such a wonderful request of this awesome hymn? Paraphrase on the Magnificat, which was obviously written by, I have to say obviously, it might not be obvious to some people. It was written by Mary, the BVM. Tell out my soul the greatness of the Lord, unnumbered blessings give my spirit a voice, and so on. You know how it goes. I don't need to tell you the words. You're already singing it. And if you were at the concert last night, the BIS sort of inspired concert last night in real life, you would be still finding the hymn, as I'm playing the playover. It's a long story. Maybe Maurice can explain it as I'm playing it. Here we go. Where should we go? Let's go this one. Well, Maurice, I do like to keep people on their toes. You know, I don't want people just to be... I like people to sort of focus and concentrate and be on the ball rather than falling asleep in their comfy pew. You know, I want to keep people on their toes, engaged. So don't bother telling them the hymn numbers. They've got to work it out themselves. They've got to... You know, you're all adults, apart from the choristers, who clearly had no idea what was going on. Oh, I can hear meowing. Is that coming through? Nala, have you got something? I don't know whether that was a sort of, Daddy, Daddy, look what I've got kind of meow. I do hope not, but at least these doors are closed. Right, so the next hymn has been sent in by our very, very trusty hymn requestor and friend here in the BIS community, a familiar name to us all. Daniel Kubacki is going to introduce his next hymn. So off you go, Daniel. Over to you.
Hi, Richard. This is Daniel Kubacki. My request for this virtual church is Glory Be to Jesus, number 83 in the New English Hymnal, to the tune Caswall. It is a great hymn from the season of Passiontide. I love this tune. It is simplistic, but it is extremely beautiful, and so is the text. But please, do me a favor on the last verse. Lift ye then your voices, swell the mighty flood, louder still and louder, praise the precious blood. Just pull out all the stops and have fun. Thank you.
I do remember that was one of the very, 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 very first hymns I ever played. And I do remember going into what I think must have been the Methodist church in central Chesterfield, quite a large church. It might have been a Baptist church. I can't remember. It certainly wasn't C of E. And it had an electric organ up the side. And I used to go in there for maybe 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon before venturing down to the Crooked Spire to have a bit more practice and then an organ lesson. And I do remember very clearly practicing this hymn in the church, the electric organ, for a very long time. And I think I this hymn, Daniel, was the very start for me. Out of the many, quite literally thousands of hymns that I've now played, this, I'm certain, was number one. Absolutely certain that this was number one. And I remember struggling with it. I remember finding the coordination, between the hands and then the feet really, really hard. And I do remember learning it hands only and then gradually putting feet to it. And it just always going off the rails. So yeah, I'm certain this is number one. So memories come flooding back. Paul Larson sent me a request a couple of weeks ago for an organ piece by Percy Whitlock, one of my favourite composers. He was an English composer, died far, far too young. I think he was in his 40s when he died. And he actually wrote quite a lot of organ music whilst he was still around, luckily. One of which is, I don't know whether I can play it actually. Can I give it a good go? Go on, I'll have to sight read it for you, Paul. It's a reflection after an old French air, it's called. So I don't think immediately the tune doesn't spring to mind. So maybe you can sort of tell me what it is, the tune is, whether anyone knows it. But Percy Whitlock genuinely is a really fantastic composer, and you can expect to see him featuring later in the year on BIS. Not him personally, obviously, but his music will hopefully feature later in the year. All right, let me just get some stops out. So this is very short, okay? Very, very short. It's the sort of thing I might play before a service. In fact, no, let's have the Crumorn down on the choir division. Why not? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. And let's start on the swell. Okay, Paul, this is for you, my friend. Thank you for all of your support over the many years. Where should we go now? Let's go for the sequential one. There we go. I had a feeling that it's sing lullaby. The first phrase, sing lullaby, feels like that. Has anyone given me the answer to what it actually is? Not yet. No, somebody must know. Somebody must know. It was lovely, wasn't it? Yeah, it is. I mean, his music is really beautiful. Actually, his harmony is quite like unlike anyone else's, I think. Okay, let's push on to the next. So that was Paul Larson. So thank you very much, Paul, for sending that one through. Camden Halsey is up next, who says, this is a commemoration of a friend's father who died a year ago, and this hymn was played at his funeral. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. But let's, Camden, let's bear your friend's father in mind as I play The King of Love to the tune, as you've asked for, St. Columbia. There's always a debate whether the tune should be The King of Love to St. Columbia or to Dominus Regit Me. I don't have a preference, if I'm honest with you. I really don't. I don't mind. I think it depends on the occasion and on the, I guess, how I'm feeling. To be honest, what's your favourite tune to these words? The tune that I'm about to play, or Dominus Regit Me? Interested to know that, actually. So please do let me know. Really nice tune, really beautiful tune. Thank you very much, Camden, for requesting it, and I hope that was sufficient in the way that I played it for you to remember your friend's father who had his funeral a year ago. So 2023. I should also say that Jim Kime, are you with us, Jim, tonight? I think I might have seen your name in there somewhere. Also requested that tune, but to different words. Jim requested it to put peace into each other's hands and like a treasure, hold it. Those words are not familiar to me at all. And he says, this hymn is all about giving peace to each other, just as Jesus gave his peace to us. And the tune recalls St. Columba, who contributed greatly to the gospel of peace. The gospel of peace spreading in Britain. So, Jim and Camden, I played that tune both for you. Sorry, I should have mentioned that before I played it. Okay, so Tyler Hyman says, can you please play All Are Welcome? Well, Tyler, I think you always ask so politely, so how could I possibly refuse that? Let us build a house where love can dwell. Let us build a house where love can dwell. And I know as I was checking this, getting these hymns ready earlier and making sure they were on the iPad, I had it down on the iPad as, let us build a house where love can swell. But it definitely is dwell though, isn't it? But it sort of works, where love can swell. The tune is Two Oaks, and the words are, let us build a house where love can dwell and all can safely live. A place where saints and children tell how hearts learn to forgive. And I've just realised, actually, that I don't have the second page of music. Oh dear. Have I got the second page of music there? You might be in luck, though. Because I think it's in the ELW, which is lucky, isn't it? At number 641. This is why I have all of these hymn books to hand, just in case I screw up. And the refrain isn't on there. I might have to delete it so I'm not tempted to play it again. The refrain is, all are welcome, all are welcome, all are welcome in this place. Let's get some of these white things out before we can make any sound. Where are we up to with numbers tonight? 2, 3, 4, my studio tells me. That's cool. So what I would like to know is, where in the world are you, as usual? But alongside that, I'd like to know what was the most interesting thing that you did all week. Is that all right? So +1 in your location, and let me +1. I'll start the ball rolling. Hampshire, UK, and I conducted my choir in Romsey Abbey. That was pretty cool. There we go. I'd like to know what you've been up to, guys. Right, here we go. Let us build a house where love can dwell and all can safely live. What a beautiful tune that is. We have had it before, so I must have played it from another. I must have played it from the ELW, but beautiful tune, isn't it? It really is. That just flows so nicely. Who's that by? Marty Haugen. I don't know whether that's how you pronounce it. You know what I'm like with pronunciations. But who requested that? Tyler. Yeah, it was beautiful. Are you in with us, Tyler? Thank you. That was beautiful. Can you play Toccata Vidor? I don't know whether I know Toccata Vidor. Of course, I'm pulling your leg because I know it. I played it last night, actually, in Romsey Abbey, live, in front of real people, rather than just bots. You're all bots, right? You don't exist. You're not real. Oh, look who's just wandered in. I can see you on the camera. Hello. Oh, God, there were two. There were two on the prowl. What's going on? No, there were two cats. Quick, let's go on before they cause complete carnage. Who's up next? Derek. You're up next, Derek. But the question is, what on earth has Derek requested? Well, let me get my act together and I'll work it out. Derek Warren has requested, my life flows on in endless song. Okay, that's cool. I got this ready a minute ago, just before VC. My life flows on in endless song. He says, this has always been one of my mother's favourite hymns. My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I catch the sweet. Though far off him, it hails a new creation. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since Christ the Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing? Isn't there a book or something? How can I keep from singing? Sounds very familiar. This one feels like a bit of fun, actually. A bit uplifting. So let's have a bit of fun with it, shall we? I think it'd be rude not to. Let's go. problem with the cat jumping on the organ is that it's just a recipe and it's asking for trouble. So she jumps up, licks her foot, knocks over a picture, panics, because everything then falls over. In fact, the only thing that didn't fall over was Hugo's little, who's that? Did anyone know who that is from Paw Patrol? He was actually the only stable one. Then she jumped off, gave me a little heart attack. Little blackguard. Where have you gone? Where have you gone now? You've caused trouble, now you've run off. Cat. Don't have them. Just don't have cats. If you're going to have cats, don't do live broadcasts from your dining room in front of 250 people. Because it's just going to go wrong. Where are we going next then? Oh, okay. Yes. I like to intersperse little organ ditties in between these hymns, because after all, we play hymns, we play organ music, and we have a little bit of waffle, don't we? We all like that. And I have not played this for years. I put it online, and I said I was going to finish it. So this is my arrangement of the Chant Donné by Maurice Droufflet, which he wrote as for a competition. And he wrote it for basically, it's just in open score. And it's gorgeous. And I transcribed it for the organ. I also said I would transcribe this. There's another fugue as well, which I need to do. But it's, Chant Donné by Maurice Droufflet. Very quiet. It's very beautiful, this. I put it online as a separate upload a long time ago. I think before most of you were, in the crowd, as it were, before you joined. And it was called, "Is This the Most Beautiful Organ Piece?" Something like that. And it's had several thousand views. And a lot of people think it actually might just be one of the most beautiful pieces of organ music. So with an accolade like that, you don't want to go anywhere. You've got to listen to this. You've got to listen to this. It's really beautiful. Let me just get some solo sort of stops fired up. The only thing about having this monstrously sized organ is I don't have physical space for all the stops on the choir. So there's actually a few stops on the choir, on the positive, which I don't have set up, like the 8-foot quint Adina. There is one. No, well, hey ho, let me just use other stuff. And bear with me a sec. That'll probably about do it. I think that'll probably do for now. Yeah, so I'll start on this swell. Okay, so Chant Donné by Maurice Droufflet. I think you'll like this, actually. What do you think? Tell me what you think. Quick, tell me what you think. Maurice has got it right, apart from his two N's. And actually, it's not. It's not Donette. It's D-O-N-N-E with an apostrophe. An apostrophe? Why does he have an apostrophe? And an E acute, an accent. Donné, as in Drufle. Donné. Beautiful, beautiful little ditty, isn't it? It wasn't written for the organ. It was just written for... I don't even know whether it was written for anything, to be honest. It was just written an open score. So I think soprano, alto, tenor, bass, clef for a competition. Oh, actually, no, it was written in honor of Jean Guillou, I think, possibly. I can't remember. But anyway, it was sort of written as a private piece. It wasn't written for publication or, pomp and ceremony, sort of, as you can tell. It's a beautiful, low-key piece. Benjamin Yao has sent through a hymn, which he says, a harvest-related request, I guess. So he says, it's Sowing the Seed by Dawnlight Fair. Ooh, that sounds like an interesting one, doesn't it? I don't think I know that one. So I need to go to my email inbox because I haven't had chance. This is so hot off the press that I've not had chance to put it in my doodah. There it is. Wow, that's an old copy. Look at the discoloration of that paper on that scan. Can you see that on there? You probably can't really see it, but it's brown. Sowing the Seed by the Dawnlight Fair. Sowing the Seed by the noonday glare. Sowing the seed by the fading light. Sowing the seed in the solemn night. Oh, what shall the harvest be? Oh, what shall the harvest be? Don't knock over all the pictures, and then you can go up there. Oh, sorry, they're not the words. And then the refrain is, sown in the darkness or sown in the light, sown in the darkness or sown in the light, sown in our weakness or sown in our might, sown in our weakness or sown in our might, gathered in time or eternity, sure will the harvest be. Did you get that? Where do you want to go? Are you going to behave? Bear with me a sec. I'm just going to head over there to just adjust the ISO levels on this camera now. Everything seems to be getting super dark. I don't know what's going on in here. Odd. It isn't darker than normal, is it? I don't think it's darker than normal. The cameras would have you believe that it is, though. Right. Go on then, Benjamin. Let's have a look at this. How does this one go then? It's in 6/8. Sowing the seed by the dawnlight fair. Sowing the seed by the noonday glare. That was a wonderful descending chromatic sequence there. And an ascending one there. Oh, this is cheese galore, this is. This is cheese galore. Oh yeah, you want to listen to this. Anyone know this? Give me a thumbs up if you know this. Here we go. Let's go to the cheesemonger. Is that what it's called? A fishmonger that happens to sell cheese as well. Hi, Ian. You all right? Thank you very much. Bill, I've just seen that you've sent me through a purple donation. Thank you so much for that. That's very generous. As always, you are generous. Let's have a look to see who has been helping me out tonight. Gregory, thank you. Sean, thank you. Good to see you last night, Sean, in real life. Jill, thank you very much. Peter, good to see you a couple of weeks ago up north. Ooh, you sent through a good hymn. Kathleen, thank you very much. And Eileen as well. Thank you so much. You're all very generous. And Paul, who hasn't donated tonight in the live chat, but Paul Anthony was very generous last night. So Paul, thank you so much for your donation as well. All be going towards the BIS next chapter, which I think is going to be the biggest chapter yet. You know, the big BIS chapters so far, for me, the big ones, obviously this piece of furniture here. Well, that's like a life achievement to get this thing. It really is. Second big chapter or the achievement is going to be the Redcliffe sample set. I think that's going to do well. I think that will be. I think it's a really wonderful set. I think it's helped by the fact that it's just such an astonishing organ. That's going to be a really great achievement. I'm going to be very proud of that. And then the biggest sort of hurdle, objective and goal that we want to get to is, of course, the music room. I talk about it a lot, but at the minute, that's all I can do because it's not a thing. But I feel like it's going to be a thing very, very soon. And the music room, it's not a garden shed. It's a proper room, a real room, built as a beautiful space for the organ to go in. So this is going to go in there, and we'll have comfy seats. And hopefully, some of you might venture down to BIS, sit in the armchair, give Noel a stroke, and listen to me play some hymns live. I can't think of anything better than that. That's, to me, that's what BIS needs to be. We do live VC, but it needs to be more interactive. I need to have people here. I need people to come and sort of see it, the organ, and experience this wonderful machine, this wondrous machine. Benjamin, you always send in such wonderful hymns, so thank you very much. Thomas, the one with the not quite broken leg, but by the sounds of it, not too far off. You sent in a super chat a couple of weeks ago asking for a hymn, and your hymn was "O Worship the King" to the tune Leons. So I'm going to play that for you now, 2 weeks after you requested it. So I'm sorry for getting around to it a little bit late, but better late than never, if you ask me. And as you know, we were away last week, and then the week before that was a short VC, because if you remember, we were going away on holiday very early the next morning, and I hadn't packed. Luckily, I did manage to pack, and we got to bed very late, but we got there, and it was fine. What am I doing? I have no idea. I'm looking forward, to be honest. I'm just flicking. Okay, "O worship the King, O glorious above, O gratefully sing his power and his love," to the tune Leons. it starts off like something else. Add. However it goes at the end there. The first line is almost identical, but then it goes off in an entirely different direction, just to keep you on your toes. Standing on the promises of God. So I'm now on catch up now from these. These are previous super chats that we've missed. Standing on the promises of God. I think this one came in from our dear friend Bill Ratey. There it is. Standing on the promises of Christ my King, through eternal ages let his praises ring. Glory in the highest, I will shout and sing. Standing on the promises of God. This is very much like being on a horse or on a train. You'll see what I mean. Like Charlotte's book again. Do you remember what the book was called? The one where I read you the story. It's like children's story time. It all got very strange a few weeks ago. It's what being tired does to you. If that one doesn't put a smile on your face, then frankly, I don't know what will, to be honest. It's very upbeat, very jolly, a very jolly piece. The next, cheers, Bill. Awesome. Brendan Nolan asked me to play Faith of Our Fathers to the wonderful tune St. Catherine. That's funnily enough, they're singing this next week at Arundel. And there is a tune called Arundel, and they're singing this hymn to the tune Arundel next week. And I sang this to the director of music, the tune that we normally have. And she said, oh, that's to something, which I can't remember what it was now. But this is a well-known hymn tune in Arundel Cathedral, which is a Catholic cathedral. But they sing it to different words. And the words that she said, I didn't recognize the words, but she knew it straight away. What other words does this tune go to? I've got a feeling it started with B or something like that. So faith of our fathers living still, in spite of dungeon, fire, and sword. Oh, how our hearts beat high with joy whenever we hear that glorious word. Faith of our fathers, holy faith, we will be true to thee till death. Actually, on the next hymn in my hymnal is faith of our mothers living still, in cradle song and bedtime prayer, in nursery lure and fireside love, thy presence still pervades the air. Faith of our mothers, living faith, we will be true to thee till death. Isn't that nice? But there we go. So this one was requested by Brendan Nolan. Thank you very much, Lewis. That's very kind. I'm currently going through the process of passing the bar, which means you're studying law. Good luck with that. I've received the news. It just says I've received the news that I've passed my first exam, which required me to study for the whole summer. Thank you, Richard and VC, for being a part of my Sundays and making them more enjoyable. So, a true pleasure and actually an honour for me to be the one keeping you company, if you like, on Sunday evenings. So, congratulations on your first exam, but I suspect there's a lot more to go. How many more years have you got? Are you doing a full degree, or are you doing a conversion course? I've got a lot of friends who've sort of done conversion courses, like, or have read music or English or history. History is normally a good one, isn't it? Or classics. Done the conversion course and then gone into either solicitors or the barrister route. PGM music, you got it. It was O Bread of Heaven. Yes, I knew there was a B in there somewhere. It was O Bread of Heaven. And the story of Arundel being Catholic is true. So Arundel Cathedral is actually Victorian. It isn't as old as it looks, although it's yeah. I think some of the stonework is starting to show its age. But the church, St Mary's Church, is a very unique church. I think it's the only church in the country that I know of which is both Church of England and Catholic in the same building. So it did indeed survive Henry VIII, and as did the castle. The castle was quite played quite an important role actually in history in Arundel. The Duke of Norfolk, which is who resides in Arundel Castle, privately owned, has always been Catholic. The Norfolk family, have always been Catholic, and the church, it's the Mary Church. I don't know whether it's on the castle on their property. I think it probably is. A deal was struck, I guess, with Cromwell or one of his cronies, that the church would become Church of England, but the I guess the Lady Chapel, they would keep that for Catholic Mass. So if you imagine having the high altar at the front of the nave, and you have the choir stalls on either side, as you normally would, and then the congregation sitting behind, and the organs over on the north side. Fine, looks completely normal. You then walk around behind the altar, and then you see this big iron gate, the iron gate must be historic. It must be as old as Henry VIII when he was around, and it shuts off the church. So it basically splits it in two. There's a big archway and there's a big iron gate there. You can't walk through. It's locked. So yeah, that's the Catholic part of it, and then the Church of England part of it as well. So that's how it survived. I think they sort of made a deal. And you can only get into the Catholic part of the church from inside the castle, but you can get into the Church of England part from the high street. It's well worth going into Arundel and looking around the castle and stuff like that if you're in the area, if you get a chance. Arundel is genuinely a really stunning place, a really interesting, beautiful place. A lot of people I know who've I've taken there to sing in my choirs or to show them the organ, have never been to Arundel, have never really even heard of Arundel, and go there, and it's like they all say, how have we not heard of this place? It's stunning. It really is. It's historic, it's old, castle, cathedral, church, shops, a Lido, if you're into that sort of thing. Good park for the kids, lots of ducks. In fact, when you drive into Arundel, you see a sign which says historic Arundel. There's a picture of The cathedral, a picture of some other things, like like a picnic bench, whatever, and then a picture of a duck, which I always find quite funny. Like that's the reason to go to Arundel, to find the duck, not the cathedral, to find that duck. Anyway, let's have a go at the next hymn, which is, where am I looking? Over here. Oh, Susie W. I'm not sure who Susie W. is. Don't need to know, really. The important thing is that Susie W. has sent in a request for "You who dwell in the shelter of the Lord." And for this one, I need to turn to my trusty ELW, ping, number 787. It's on Eagle's Wings. I must confess that this is not one of my favourite hymns to play, because it's a bit busy and a bit confusing, I find. But we'll do with it what we can. So I'll play the organ instruction for verse 1, and then onwards, I'll not bother with the intro. Sorry about my Arundel waffle. I hope that was vaguely interesting to you, and I hope it was largely historically accurate. There you are. Hello, CZW. Thank you for your $4.99. No, Charles, there's my organ shoes. I've left them in Romsey. That was a bit silly of me, wasn't it? But that was a bit silly of me. But they are in Romsey. I hope they're in Romsey because they're not here. So I need to make sure I remember to bring them home when I go down there on Thursday. Actually, I like playing this organ in shoes. There are some organs that I prefer to wear socks. For example, Arundel, I wear socks. I can't wear shoes on that organ. I just can't. But on this organ, and in Romsey, I actually like to wear shoes. Go figure. Okay, so the last requested hymn comes in from Scott Flanagan. I told you there was a lot, didn't I? I hope you've managed to refill your glass at least 3 times. Oh, go on, do tell me what you're drinking. Do tell me. Make me extremely jealous. Oh, praise the gracious power that tumbles walls of fear and gathers in one house of faith all strangers far and near. We praise you, Christ, your cross has made us one. The tune, as far as I can see, is called Christ Praise Ray. Not quite sure what that means, but Christ Praise Ray. There are 7 verses here, Scott, but because we've had quite a lot of hymns and we've still got quite a bit to do tonight, I probably won't give you all 7 verses. Please forgive me. Right, what shall we have? Should we go for something up on the top manual? What haven't we had yet? Not quite sure how to use this tercion thing. Let's just see what it sounds like with this. Let's just see. Hey, let's experiment a little bit. It might sound utterly ridiculous, preposterous, but let's just give it a shot. I apologise in advance if it sounds ridiculous. see what he's saying, Ian. It does a little bit, doesn't it? Bum, bum, ba, da, 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 da. And then in the refrain, what I find rather curious is, we praise you, Christ. You would naturally assume that the praise would be on the strong beat of the bar, but it's very much, we praise you, Christ. That's interesting, that. We praise you, Christ. As opposed to, we praise you, Christ. Good, interesting writing. And actually, a nice tune. I like some interesting harmonies, but I quite like the melody. Actually, it's quite a nice melody, composed by Carol Doran, by the looks of it, or Doran, I think, Droan. Was born in 1936. Whether she's still around, I have no idea. But thank you very much, Scott, for sailing that one through. Okay, that now takes us into your live requests. So this is my favourite part, because this is where I basically hand over to you now. You're in control of what happens next. So I've had some super chats, so I'm very pleased to see that. And my producer-in-chief tonight is Mr. Josh Wilson. So I am deeply grateful, Josh, for helping me out and keeping me on the straight and narrow. So let's just go. So I'm just going to juggle things around a little bit, Josh, because I saw a request from Bill Mac. How do we do this? Mac PYT. And he said, has anyone suggested Come Labour On yet? No, well, they haven't, as far as I'm aware. So, and that was the one, actually, I mentioned earlier, Thomas Tertius Noble. That was the one I was talking about. Come Labour On is one of my favourite hymns now. And only like 3, maybe 4 years, 3 years probably ago, I didn't know it. I didn't know it at all. Come labour on. Who dares stand idle on the harvest plain, while all around him waves the golden grain? And to each servant does the master say, go work today. And it says, in unison, broadly. The tune is called Ora Labora. And this is a really strong tune. Very strong. If it's sung well and broadly, it's very powerful. Give me a thumbs up if you like this tune, if you like this hymn. Only 4 verses. there is somewhere, and by someone, a very effective descant to that, which I heard on a live stream from one of our college chapels here in England. I can't remember who the descant was by. I don't know whether Noble did it himself, possibly, but I'm sure one of my learned members of the community will inform us about that. So Bill Mac, you have to help me how I'm going to pronounce this bit. I'm just going to call you Bill M, all right? Because we've got Bill Ratey, Bill R, we've got and a Bill M. I'm going to stick with Bill M, all right? Thanks for sending that one through. Yeah, the Trinity. That is actually the one I was thinking of, but I don't know. Perhaps if we go, they're actually really good at, if you go back to the webcast in question, it was Stephen Layton's last service. I remember that. Because it's, I thought it was rather a great choice actually, because it ends with well done. It was his last service, his final hymn. So if we go back to find that service, they often put a link to the order of service in the description of the video, and presumably it will say in that. So someone might go and find it. Peter Sharp's already said that actually there's another version from St Thomas Avenue. Maybe we should get a copy and I can play it. Anyway, let's push on. So Gregory Potter has asked for praise to God, immortal praise to the tune Dix. So this is in the hymnal 1982. I've turned to my hymn books here. Tonight's voluntary, by the way, was something that I was going to play last night in the concert. Do you fancy a little bit of Walton, Crown Imperial tonight? Do you fancy a bit of that? If you do, then let me know. So praise to God, immortal praise to the tune, excuse me, to the tune Dix. I think this one often goes to As with Gladness, Men of Old. You may recognize this one. Thank you very much, Gregory, for sending that one through. Great for harvest. Verse 2, all the plenty summer pours, autumn's riches overflowing stores, flocks that whiten all the plain, yellow sheaves of ripened grain, and so on. Good one for harvest, although it does say here for Thanksgiving Day. I suppose that is giving thanks, isn't it, for everything that we need to be grateful for. Keep these harvest hymns coming. We've got a few more to get through, actually. So Sean is up next. In ELW. Let's have a look at it in E. Oh, hello. You're right. You're hovering. You can just see her just on the bottom of the camera. Next hymn is We Plough the Fields and Scatter. And this is coming from Sean. Sean was very good and came to my concert last night. So thank you very much, Sean, for coming up. I hope it was worth your while. Nice to see your jag as well. We plough the fields and scatter the good seed on the land, but it is fed and watered by God's almighty hand. Okay. Just saw a red donation come in. That always makes me feel very warm and very loved. Oh, Barry, thank you very much, Barry. Can we have Dear Lord and Father of Mankind? Oh, I think we can do that. I mean, that wasn't it. That wasn't what he was. I'll play it. Don't worry. Thank you very much, Barry. That's amazing. I love the generosity of you guys. I love it. We will get to this new space very soon, won't we? I'm sure we will. With your help, we'll get there. To thee, O Lord, our hearts we raise. Jill has requested that one. And I need to turn to Common Praise, which is the blue one. And it's number 274. 274. There she is. Golden Sheaves, I think. It's a good name for harvest, isn't it? So shall we omit one of these verses? They're quite long. Omit any verse you'd like. I will play 3 verses of this this hymn. The tune is by Arthur Sullivan, Golden Sheaves. To thee, O Lord, our hearts we raise in hymns of adoration. To thee bring sacrifice of praise with shouts of exultation. Let's see if there's anything in here with regards to Golden Sheaves. I don't know. There is something. Ooh, let's see what it's like. Thank you very much, Jill, for sending through a classic hymn, I think. This is a great English hymn. Great. Thank you very much, Jill. Jill says, thank you very much for playing this one. It's an oldie, like me. Don't know, Jill. Come on. Can't be that old. If you're as old as that, then you probably wouldn't be with us. Right. Peter Sharp is up next, who wants one of the hymns for harvest. Is for the fruits of his creation. I didn't realise East Acklam was actually in this hymn book, but it is. It's a pretty good tune, this, actually. It's pretty nifty, pretty modern, if you like. I'm not sure when he composed it. It doesn't give a date when it was composed. But it's called East Acklam, and it's by Francis Jackson, who died only a couple of years ago. For the fruits of his creation, thanks be to God. For the gifts to every nation, thanks be to God. For the ploughing, sowing, reaping, silent growth while we lie sleeping, future needs in earth's safekeeping, thanks be to God. Is there Ace Airstream? Interesting. Interesting. English praise. Is that the supplement section to the NEH? Because if it is, I've got it here. Actually, no, it's in my office. I can go and get it if you like. I don't know whether the microphone will cut out. It probably will cut off. Let me keep talking and see if it cuts off. Hello, 1, 2, 3. I'm walking across to the other side of the house. Maybe it works. Probably talking to myself right now. Right, let's have a go. I've found the English praise. I had no idea that there was a reharmonization in here. Did I lose you at all? So where is it? What number is it in here? For the fruits of his creation. It'll be in here, won't it? 621. Let's have a look then. Oh my goodness. Whew. Well, I don't even know whether I can sight read that. Genuinely don't know whether I can play that at sight. I've never been stumped by a hymn like that before. Never. First line looks okay. Second line looks okay. The third line, oh my goodness me. How does it go? Bum, 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 bum. And then bum. Is that an A? That's an A flat against an A natural. Are you sure? No. This must be all wrong, surely. No, maybe not. No, it's not. That's right. Because you have all. Oh my. This is wowee. This is out there. This is out there. I'm having to play it quite slow. Oh, this chord. That's an E flat 7. But what's that? An F flat? I'm never going to get this right, honestly. It's going to be a complete hack. That's still a G nat. Oh my God. Honestly, I've never seen anything like that before in my life. I've never seen that before. Do you want to have a listen to it? I'm not going to get it right. I'm not going to get it right, though. That's the problem. I'm going to have to take the edge off the tempo quite a lot when I get to verse 3. Crikey. Right, you got to stay tuned. If that's not an enticement for you to stick around for a minute or two, I don't know what is. Me being defeated by music. Oh, a hymn, no less. Let's have a go at this then. there's a mistake. It's completely wrong. That's why it sounds so weird. It shouldn't be an A natural at all, you careless editors. That's an A flat there, not an A natural. Idiots. Idiots. I could have had more of a chance of getting it right if you'd written the right notes and the score for me. And then it sounds, but even that, really? I think whoever's typed this out must have had a very large whiskey before typing this out, because you have this chord and then that isn't right. That can't be right. Does anyone have a different version of that harmonization? Because you played a major chord instead of a minor chord there. On which one? So you have, that's right, and then it's here, and in this, that's a G natural in here, and then crikey. I don't know whether I'm sold on that one, if I'm honest with you. I don't know whether I'm entirely sold on that reharm. Maybe if I heard it played, if I heard the correct version, I might be a bit more sold, but I'm not convinced that's entirely correct. But it's not correct, the tune's wrong. Okay. That really was quite an event. Right, so well done, Peter, for throwing me off course. It does take quite a lot for really to throw me like that when it comes to hymns these days, because I've played all sorts of things from all over the world, and that really threw me. Okay, Kathleen, let's hope that you've given me something a bit more readable, playable. So I need to go to my emails, find an email from James, who sent me a hymn entitled Now Let All Loudy Sing. Really? Now let all loudy. Come on, engage brain. Now let all loudly sing praise to God the Lord. I wonder why that didn't sound right. Christendom proudly laud him with one accord. Gently he bids thee come before him. Hasten, O Israel, now adore him. Haste then, O Israel, now adore him. Loudy. That well-known word in the English language. Loudy. Now let all loudly. Goodness me, it's late. Long week, very long week. I think Caroline's already given up and gone to bed. That's a very straightforward hymn. Very straightforward, homophonic hymn. That's the sort of hymn that I like at this sort of time of night. Kathleen, I hope that was okay for you. That's very unfamiliar to me. I don't think I've ever played that one before. But I may have. But thank you very much for sending it through. Father, Lord of all creation, tune. Abbott. Oh, hello. Hello. Are you all right? Oops. I wouldn't mind one. That's all right. What's on offer? What's on the drinks trolley tonight?
A Coke or one of those that summer fruit stuff that you like.
I'll have a bit of yeah, I'll have some of that water, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Right. Making good progress now. My hymn pile has grown. Father, Lord of all creation, in common praise, number 418. Oh yes, to the tune Abbott's Lee. Doo, doo, doo. There's something wrong with my greater pedal. If I have a certain stop combination out, it doesn't seem to work for some reason. I don't know why. I'll have to have a look at that. Okay, right, let's have a go. Father, Lord of all creation. Let me get some stops out. I need an 80 foot. There it is. Lots of stops to choose, aren't there? Okay, let's have a go at this one. genuinely thought my water was going to fall over because the 16-foot principal came out and it knocked the cup and it almost tipped over. Ah! It's such a risky thing to have water on the organ. Don't tell anyone.
Oh, hang on. Let's put this on. Got something important.
Hi, Michelle. Fill the screen with reds. Oh, well, just give me some hearts if you like. That's amazing. Thank you very much.
I have something important to say, so I've put my microphone on.
Robert as well. Oh, wow. What's going on here?
Robert has said, as you may know, Western
Philip.
North Carolina was devastated by Hurricane Helene. Pray for so many people without resources and isolated in their neighbourhoods and hamlets.
Yeah. We're lucky in this country that we don't get that sort of weather. We get rubbish weather, but we don't get extreme weather like that so much, do we? Like, I know, like Florida has a lot of floods and storms like that, like extreme weather. Where it would be really dry and really warm, and
we had one in 1986, 7.
What?
Took the roofs off houses.
What was it? A big storm?
Yeah, but it probably wasn't a hurricane.
Don't know. Do we get hurricanes in England?
Probably not. But it was, took the roof off one of my school friends' houses.
Oh dear.
So it was, fairly.
Yeah, well, I know Florida. It's regular.
And obviously, we don't live on a fault line either, so we don't have earthquakes and we don't live near a volcano. So we are very.
As you know, we
fortunate.
don't live on a fault line, but we do live on one big ant hill. To be honest, ants everywhere. Eileen has requested. No, she hasn't. Well, she did. Eileen requested the previous hymn. Sorry, I didn't say her name, Eileen.
Oh dear.
Father, Lord of all creation, Abbot's Lay. That was Eileen. Thank you very much for sending that one through. So I just need to focus my brain. Hang on. Next hymn. And I'm just thinking about wanting to say thank you to everyone who's just donated. That's wonderful. Thank you. Robert, I played your hymn from a couple of weeks ago. It was a joint request. Come thou fount of every blessing. Michelle also requested it. I played it at the very top of the broadcast tonight. So you may want to go back and have a listen to that. I think it's the second hymn that I played. So this next hymn is called Bringing in the Sheaves, and it's sowing in the morning, sowing seeds of kindness, sowing in the noontide and the dewy eve, waiting for the harvest and the time of reaping, we shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves. This is coming from Bill R. So we've got a Bill M and a Bill R now. And a Susie W. And a Barry F. And a Richard M. That was very baff. What does that mean? That was unfinished. Right. So how does this one go? Oh, it's all crotchets.
Oh my goodness, this is awful. Bobby has said Hurricane Helene has a death toll way over 200, but they said this morning that some high mountain valleys have all access washed out and it will be months before they can reach any survivors. That's awful, isn't it?
Where's this, sorry?
They not reach them from the air. I presume Carolina again, I'm guessing. I'm not sure.
Right. Well, yeah, how awful. It's just one of those things, isn't it? You're just so helpless to the weather. Things like that, storms, you can't do anything. It's just, awful. It's just like these natural disasters. Dreadful. Okay, let's have a look at this one. This is a new one to me. There's a refrain. There's a repeat in the refrain. Check that out. It's not very well printed, this, I must say. It's a bit awkward to read, but we'll see if I can work it out. That was a very... What was it when we did the other hymn for Bill, riding a horse, like Clip Clop? Very uplifting and jolly, wasn't it? This is music like that. You can't fail to be sort of have a little twinkle in your eye, a little bit of an emotional uplift from where you previously were. It's just happy music. A bit cheesy in places, yes, but that adds to the happiness of it, I think. So thank you very much, Bill, for sending it. In fact, it was Bill. You sent me the previous one, and it was very similar. Both our camp meeting hymns, sort of around the fire with a sort of that sort of thing, strumming the old guitar. Yeah, he could. Yeah, sat around the bonfire, having a few bevies, singing some songs like this. I'd be up for that. Not in this sort of weather, though. The weather here is pretty miserable, as in it's just depressingly miserable rather than dangerously.
It was really nice yesterday.
It was, it was. I was indoors yesterday, though, wasn't I? I didn't get a chance to see it.
We went down to the Bear and we had a great time.
I know. I feel very jealous. It did look nice through the windows. So actually, so Susie W has asked me to play a hymn of my choice for Harvest. Well, there's one hymn that you haven't requested, and I'm surprised at you. All of you. I don't even know. I must have it in here somewhere. Let me just have a look. Make sure it's here. Now, we've had the tune, but not the correct words. Now, where do I find it?
Barry says, does Richard know Enrico Bossi's Scherzo in G minor?
Oh, God.
Is that the one that goes to little, 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 boom? Oh, Charlotte.
The Charlotte.
Is that the one?
It might well be that one, yes.
Yes, he does know it, Barry.
Does Barry want me to play that one, does he?
I think he does. He's been very generous, so you need to get on that.
Hard. It's hard. Here it is. Number 285, Susie, in the NEH. This is like one of the classic Harvest ones. I mean, no one's requested it. For the beauty of the earth, for the beauty of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our sacrifice of praise. I'm surprised no one requested this. This is one of the first ones that I think of with Harvest, for the thinking about the beauty of the earth. Hill and vale, tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light. Flowers of earth and buds of heaven. Okay. Chop 007 says we sang it today. Knick Knack, yes, it's England's Lane. That's the correct tune, I think. Although the other tune in here is actually rather nice. Ba-dum, 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 bum. Da-dum, da-da-da-da-da. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Last thing I wrote there. I was thinking it was going to do that for some reason, but it didn't. Da-dum, pa-dum, ba-dum, ba. Da-dum, pa-dum, bum, bum, bum. Ba-dum, to thee we raise this our sacrifice of praise. I actually like that tune a lot. It's a very dignified tune there by David Evans. But unfortunately, it's just overshadowed by England's Lane, which is just what these words in this country are so frequently sung to. So, for the beauty of the earth. great tune, England's Lane for the Beauty of the Earth, which is actually the penultimate hymn. Now, I have been asked to play something that I've not played for a while, and that's always high risk doing that, particularly when it's hard, and particularly when it's a scherzo. Ace Airstream, virtualchurch at beautyandsound.co.uk. That'll get to me. It'll be interesting to see it, actually. So the question is, guys, am I going to play, after I've played Barry Ford's wonderful request of Dear Lord and Father of Mankind, am I going to play the Crown Imperial by William Walton, or am I going to dare play the Scherzo by Enrico Bossi? J.W. Hall. Hello. Don't recognise your name. Hello. The reason I'm sort of a bit confused is I've got a good friend who has the same initials as that, but I don't think my Jamie would have an avatar of someone playing an electric guitar. That's why I'm looking at the screen like that. Oh God, everyone's saying, oh, Arlene's gone for the sensible Walton. Richard Legler's gone for Scherzo. Roger's gone for, oh God, everyone's, Scherzo, isn't it? Oh no. Well, okay, let me see if I can muster up some courage to do it. All right, I'm going to play this Dear Lord and Father of Mankind, forgive our foolish ways. That is very much me playing the bossy. All right, go on, Bill. Let's do a poll, shall we? Oh no, what am I doing? Oh, which this is all going to go wrong. Which voluntary? Walton or Bossy? So let me just give that a bit more detail. Walton, Crown Imperial, which is always a good romp. And the Bossy, Scherzo, which is always a bit approximate. Sums up my playing, to be honest. There we go. Over to you. Please be kind. Please be kind. Dear Lord and Father of Mankind. Let's have a go at this one. This is a beautiful hymn, isn't it? Everyone's favourite. This is everyone's number one. I'm sure it is. Let's have a go. Isn't that just the most exquisite of all hymns ever written? Tune was called Repton, music by Parry. Dear Lord and Father of mankind, forgive our foolish ways. Although the text here actually, as it says, has been altered. Why? Why would you alter it? Dear God, compassionate and kind, forgive our foolish ways. Why would you change that? Dear Lord and Father of mankind, dear God, compassionate and kind, forgive our foolish ways. I think there are some texts that you just don't touch. Don't touch it. So beautiful as they are. Okay, so the poll, how many? We've only had 49 votes. Okay, so that's not quite the electorate. But Bolton is quite clearly in the lead. I should just explain why I just took a little bit of a double take when I saw J.W. Hall. It's only because one of my oldest and best friends is, his name is that, basically J.W. Hall. And I thought, oh, Jamie's in. But it's not Jamie. He has been in before. He's sort of lurked a few times and has chatted before. But he's busy doing wonderful things with his voice because he's an amazing singer. Okay, so I think we ought to follow the demographic and go for the winner of the vote. Unless you want to have a recount. I was sort of up for playing the bossy, actually. I was sort of up for playing it, you know. I was gearing up to it, thinking about all of the difficult bits as I was sort of playing that hymn, thinking, can I do it? But actually, it is quite hard, and it wouldn't be very accurate. So I think we ought to keep it more simple. Give me a bit of a fighting chance to get some notes right. But, you know, I need all the help that I can get. You know what I'm like. Where's Walton in the alphabet? Why isn't Walton there? Come on. Oh, there it is. It's above Star Wars. Yes. Do you remember I used to play Star Wars? I recorded Star Wars, didn't I? Okay, so Imperial March. Written for the coronation of King George the VI, and then played at the coronations of Elizabeth II in 1953, and then of course it was played at Charles's coronation in 2023. Is that right? Yes, 23. Of course it was. This basically could have been Elgar, and in fact, when it was originally written, when the pundits were reviewing it, as it were, they said it was like essentially a bad Elgar impersonation. But more fool them, because it's actually stood the test of time. Right, so this is going to be, Michelle says G minor is the superior key. To be fair, anything in a minor key is superior, isn't it? It's like anything written for Lent and Passiontide, all of that sort of emotionally charged minor key stuff is always more powerful, isn't it? Because it pulls on the heartstrings. It's the same with Advent as well. Advent has a lot of minor key music. Christmas stuff is all major key, but Advent for some reason is all minor key, and the same as Lent. But I know what you mean. All of the best organ music is in minor keys as well, isn't it? Passacaglia and Fugue in C minor, Bach. My favourite piece is one of my favourite pieces at least, is the Introduction Passacaglia and Fugue by Healy Willan, which is an E flat minor. The Fantasia and Fugue on the Ad Norse by Liszt is in C minor. The Reubke Sonata on the 94th Psalm is in C minor. the great Beethoven symphonies, Symphony Number 5, in a minor key. Moonlight Sonata in a minor key. But anyway, Jurassic Park. Well, that's in sort of B flat major, isn't it? Beatle 6, yes. A G minor. Apart from the last movement. That's major. Godfather. That's cello, isn't it? That's I don't know how that goes offhand, but that's is that the oh, is that Schindler's List? That's Schindler's List, isn't it? That one. Minor key. Right, okay, so there we go. I've actually now, according to my producer tonight, Josh, I've completed, he says, all super chat requests have now been completed. That's a relief. It's been quite a busy one tonight. Yes, well, thank you all so much for your support tonight and for all of your reds. Michelle, Robert, and Barry for your reds, and everyone else who has put some tips in the tip jar. I do appreciate you all, and I love you all. Just a reminder that I am only wearing socks tonight, simply because my organ shoes are somewhere in Romsey. I forgot them. I hope they are in the Abbey. I'll need them back. Right, let me get this organ ready for Walton. Oh heavens, this is just a bit of a romp, really. What am I going to use? Let's get some stuff before I fire it up. Okay, I'll see you next week. As soon as I finish this, I'll go straight into the credits. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for being with me. And thank you for your patience, because I realise that I haven't really been putting as much content online during the week as I really ought to be doing. But once the Redcliffe sample set is out of the way, and it's out there, I'll be able to focus on recording more content. So the Tewkesbury audio will be coming soon. The Tewkesbury recital will be coming very soon. Obviously, the demonstration is online. I hope you've all seen that. It does sound really good, and the organists of Tewkesbury are very pleased with it, which is a relief. So if you haven't checked it out, go and check out the demonstration from Tewkesbury Abbey. Terrific organ, a really, really terrific organ. And yeah, I'll see you all next week. Hello, Paul. How you doing, my friend? Thank you very much for your 20. Didn't need to do that. Very kind. I did play your Whitlock earlier on. The reflection on the French air. I did play that earlier on. Probably the first half of VC. Within the first half hour, I think. Bit of sight reading for me. Okay. Good night, everyone. You take care. You stay safe. And I will see you all next week. Wish me luck with this.